the golden grain. Here we are again, friends. The Rubayiat of Omar Khayyam. I'm going to read the quatrain number 1-5, and then we'll listen to Swami Kriyananda sing it, and then he will read the paraphrase that Yogananda gives. So here's how it reads. And those who husbanded the golden grain, and those who flung it to the winds like rain, alike to no such aureate earth are turned, as, buried once, men want dug up again.
Stanza 15. And those who husbanded the golden grain, and those who flung it to the winds like rain, alike to no such aureate earth are turned, as, buried once, men want dug up again. Paraphrase. Those who glory in the possession of gold, whether they hoard it or squander it like rain, find no such luster at the ending of their own lives. Earth they become, and of further value to no one.
What a curious quatrain. Curious because Omar here considers as equally valuable and equally useless at the same time, whether hoarding possessions, material things, or squandering them. Either way, the attachment, the expectation that you'll get happiness from squandering, from living it up, let's say, or from hoarding it, doesn't much matter. Either way, it's attachment. In fact, I suppose karmically speaking, the one attitude and practice that perhaps in one lifetime could end up resulting in the other attitude or practice, just to balance the scales. Well, this is a rather curious one. We're going to do a little meditation here at the end, but what he's asking us to do is very yogic. It's very much yoga. You know, the energy, the life force, the intelligent, vibrant, energetic life force that inhabits this body is the link between the soul and the body. And although by virtue of the senses and the requirements of self-sustaining the body and so on, require us, or encourage us, I should say, to look outside ourselves and to identify our self with the bodily form, to protect it, to comfort it, and to promote it, as it were. Nonetheless, a little bit of reflection is all it would take to realize that within ourselves, within this body of chemicals and molecules and atoms, resides the Spirit of God. This is the true temple of God. When Jesus said, for example, to his disciples near the end of his life, his ministry, he said, looking at the temple of Jerusalem, he said, "This temple I will destroy will be destroyed, and I will rebuild it in 3 days. The disciples, being a little confused, because they were just showing off to him, oh, look, Master, look at this beautiful temple there on an adjoining hill, thought he meant, of course, the destruction, what in fact later became the destruction of the temple there. But in any case, they misunderstood him. He meant that the body is the temple of God. And yoga has for its concentration and its practice and its modus vivendi an awareness and control of the life force, prana, as the yogis call it, chi, as it's called elsewhere in the Orient. That intelligent, conscious life force is what inhabits this body on behalf of the indwelling soul, which remains unattached, unidentified, and untouched by the body and the life force and whatever identification we attach ourselves to. And so this is really what Omar's talking about. And then it's curious, when he says the last words, and as buried once, men want dug up again, meaning that's a very oblique reference to reincarnation. In other words, whether you fling the gold like rain or whether you hoard the gold, you're attached to the gold. And even though you don't live very long in the big picture of things and are buried, nonetheless, what's buried with you is that attachment. And it's that attachment that brings that life force of yours back into a human body to continue the lessons of life. And so this is, as I say, oblique, but it is a recognition of the vitality, the life vitality, which is the essence of our experience. And all we have to do, and this is the great gift of yoga, be still and know. Move the body, go into a state, and in that focus of concentration, of energy and awareness, you become increasingly aware of the energy and vitality and the strength of the life force in the body. Then when you finish your outward practice of yoga and sit in meditation, then you internalize that flow of energy and work with it directly. When you use the body, you're working with the energy indirectly through the form and the motions and movements and the holding of the postures of the body. That is a great gateway to the awareness of life force, but it is only a gateway. It has untold benefits appropriate to what's necessary to meditate deeply, meaning giving the body health and vitality and awareness, but it is nonetheless a gateway to meditation, which withdraws that life vitality. Having gained some degree of control over it, withdraws it to its center, from which it comes, at least in respect to which it resides. It comes from a universal source, but so long as we inhabit the body, it resides, its center is in the center of the body. And then as we withdraw it and move it upward. And so I'm going to end this by reading the little meditation. Once in a while in these quatrains, Swami Kriyananda has added a meditation. And so if you'd like to do this with me, it's very short. Sit upright, closing our eyes, relax the body. Now, think of the body, visualize the body, feel the body, this very form which you feed and clothe and exercise so solicitously, as it most certainly will be a few years from now, its atoms bereft of their cohesive life force, spreading out into the world, combining with other atoms to create new and ever newer forms. Even now the dispersive process goes on. Moment by moment, you exchange the atoms of your body with those of other bodies, with plants, with the very atmosphere. Every few years, the atoms you now think of as comprising your body will all have relinquished their tendency to an entirely new group of residents. You are not your body. Think of it then as that infinity of atoms that have passed through your earthly form in this and in other lives. Your reality, even as a material entity, knows no limits. Meditate now on the vastness of who and what you really are. Joy to you.